So.
That is a very deep and specific fandom.
Scooby-Doo or Sandy Duncan?
Sandy Duncan.
Sandy Duncan.
Sandy Duncan, stand up, fam.
Sandy Duncan, hi.
Hi, I'm Amy Newman.
And I am Chris Carr, and we are two filthy casuals.
And we know that getting into a new fandom can be intimidating.
It sure
With all those gatekeepers.
all those gatekeepers.
The Don Bluth naysayers.
The owls, the aqueducts, everything. They can get in your way. That's why on this podcast, we invite on a super fan. They talk to you about a fandom. That way you can ask your questions and dip your toe in sans judgment.
I'm going to call it a Disney movie, and I don't want any single one of you to yell at me in the comments. Treat me with kindness.
What if it's me? What if the call is coming from inside the house and I'm like,
Uh-oh.
Disney, you fool.
You're in swinging range on me right now. I don't love that.
But you're holding the baby.
I'm holding a dog
And that's
right now.
the one thing that'll stop me from hitting a woman is you holding a dog.
I do have a dog in my lap.
Well, today, we've got a great, great film to discuss. This is one of my childhood favorites, and this is something that Amy just experienced. We are going to be talking to Miju Sayuni today, who is an incredible writer, director, film festival maven, and, you know, an award-winning hugger. She gives the best hugs. And brought us flowers.
So sweet.
Miju Sayuni, hi!
Rest of the guests, fill up.
Howdy, ladies. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh.
I was thinking of a way to do a little Elvis in there.
Hit us with a swagger out the gate.
A little
Ooh.
Chanticleer.
So, Mishu, before we get into this, I need you to know that Amy texted me earlier with her first reactions.
Oh, gosh. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. I just want to know why. Look, we've been getting some comments.
We have been getting some comments. Hashtag creepy women. Goals.
See you over there on the YouTube calling us creepy women. And yes, and if that's not for you, keep walking.
Yeah, this isn't, not everything is made for everyone.
No.
And that includes us.
And this one's for the horny girls.
Yeah.
And look, I'm just going to say it. I'm not a coward, and this is my podcast, and I'm going to treat it like a safe space, even though it's going on the internet, which is not. Chanticleer is kind of... He's kind of...
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Have you guys had an episode yet where you discuss
wanting to fuck a cartoon character?
hot animated characters?
Oh,
yeah.
almost definitely.
Every single episode.
Okay.
We found a way.
Because everyone has a list. Dimitri is always like number one on another Don Bluth favorite.
Look, it's not been a hard and fast episode, but have I been like, that's cool about Batman? Why does the fox from Zootopia look like that, though?
That's very true.
Why does he look like that, though? And then we'll get back into your thoughts on the Joker or whatever the fuck. I just kind of...
Jason Bateman also falls into someone whose voice you hear and you go, oh.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel that way about there's a actor in this film that I feel that way about, but it is not Chanticleer. It is Patu, who when I was a kid I thought it was Tattoo for the longest time. There are many characters in films that I watched as a child. A lot of fever dream films were like, I thought the character's name was like one thing and it was completely something else. So when I was a kid growing up, I was like, yeah, his name's Tattoo. I don't know why. He doesn't have any. And then I would continue on how much I loved this film with kids in the playground and things like that. Yeah. But there are some sexy boys. John Cusack, again, Dimitri, going back full circle.
A game changer.
Yeah.
A game changer.
Don Bluth could draw two men. And
100%.
Boy, did he draw them.
Boy, did he draw.
It was either floppy-haired Dimitri types or rotund mice and mentors.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Pretty much it.
And he didn't let that stop him.
No.
I mean, we've established the first love of my life was Norbert from the Angry Beavers, and right?
Because he's funny. Yeah.
I was a woman of taste.
Yeah.
I was a 7-year-old of taste in class, and I stand by it.
Okay, mine was Bonkers. Yeah.
From
Bonkers the Police Cat?
Yeah.
Oh, ACAB. All cats are bastards, and I will stand by that as well.
Yeah. What is? I don't even know what kind of animal Bonkers is. That sounds weird that I can't identify my childhood crush, but I do know that he was 100% a guy in uniform, so it was really awkward.
Seems like a lynx, but he's some kind of cat per the name. At least he's not Marsupilami, where that's just like he's Marsupilami.
Oh, from Marsupilami.
Well, they're different shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Marsupilami was like his own thing.
Marsupilami mention. The chat goes wild with a resounding.
Well, what was yours, Chris?
My childhood crush?
Your childhood
animated crush
yes.
was Peter Parker from the animated Spider-Man.
Oh, wow, a human. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
I'd like to see that and raise you the AMC film strip man. He had a je ne sais quoi.
This, though, actually is a really great segue into this topic.
Yeah.
Because Rock-A-Doodle, this is one of the few things I know about this film, other than I enjoy it, is that this is kind of a response, in many ways, to Roger Rabbit.
Oh, 100. That was the first thing I said when we were doing, like, live action animated, and then, like, the whole Ellen Green character feels like a little Jessica Rabbit. Of like, you couldn't get away.
It was 100% a Jessica Rabbit.
You couldn't get away. She's not quite the same archetype.
They wanted to give her more of a bust and a cleavage, and then when they were like watching it with audiences, it was like the moms who were like, she just has too big of tits. So they like ruffled up the pheasant feathers a bit, but you can still see hens like at the farm have huge tatas.
Bazonka.
Like pick a little, talk a little, Music Man bazonkas. Like they were, I was just like, damn, what? I remember one of the birds, everything you're saying about Chanticleer is right. One of the birds say, and he's single too. And I was like, wow, they are thirsty.
They do have the exact same energy. And I believe this did come first. They remind me a lot of, the women thirsty for Aladdin in one jump.
Yes.
Very similar energy.
Very much
I blame
so.
parents, except he hasn't got him. That fucked up line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But are we allowed to swear?
Oh, yeah, dude.
I forgot
She
that.
says she listened to the podcast.
The episodes I listened to, I don't think you guys swear.
That can't be right. What episode did you listen to where I don't swear and I don't talk about which cartoon characters I want to bone in excruciating detail?
4th of July, I don't know if you...
Oh, because we were in and out on that one. I don't think we talk about boning anybody.
We didn't have time.
We didn't.
You let
guys
us
were-
go for more than 20 minutes, though.
Summer camps, which that was like a big nostalgic factor for me. I don't know. Yeah. But I guess I need to do a deep dive of Amy's like animated exploits.
We've also gotten into
deep lore.
We've also gotten into audio animatronics. Which
Yes.
ones?
Oh, okay.
So
I don't know if I've
look at John
Do you
from
feel
the
safe here? Is that where there was that?
I don't know if I've thought about this one. What are we?
I mean, John from the Carousel of Progress is the obvious one.
Okay.
That's easy. That's safe. Look, was okay. I had a thing for French accents, so Lumiere and the French Tiki Room Bird.
Oh
were
wow.
big for me.
Okay.
And then, oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? From Country Bear Jamboree.
You'd pick
Henry.
the bear.
Henry.
Oh.
I'd pick Henry
I was going to say.
every time.
No, but does
Hell of a
anyone
voice.
else feel
Hell of a
this way
voice.
about Phil Harris's voice? Like I don't like even in Aristocats and
I can understand it.
like
That
Patu is
Abraham
not.
Delancey.
Yeah,
Abraham
when
Delaney.
he's like singing and trying to seduce, I'm like, even to him as Baloo, it's like it's just a very charming, suave boy voice. And this was one of his last roles doing Patu, so it's not like obviously an older, wiser character.
Nothing wrong with being knowledgeable.
I thought Chance was really cute.
Yeah.
Incredible Journey. That's an actual dog, but it's voiced by Michael J.
Michael J.
Fox.
Fox.
And so
Yeah.
I always,
That's a cute boy voice.
Well, and when you're a kid, you're just like, I really like that one, and I
Yep.
think we're in love. But
Yep.
you don't have an actual concept
Yeah,
of what that
no,
is.
That's I look
No.
back on like Norbert from the Angry Beavers and I'm like, I had no concept of like sexy,
Yeah.
but like there was something about him that was just like, I like him.
Y'all saw who I'm married to. You think I wanted Peter Parker and those tucked in button down shirts with high waists? No. I want somebody who looks like Reed Richards, who gave up on science. That's my whole thing. I want homeless Jesus.
Sure.
Yeah. Catholic issues are what really gets me, you know?
That
That's
Jesus
more my
on the
thing.
cross.
Hello.
Hello.
Just offending everyone on this one. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. So, Mijou, what
the fuck?
Going back to Jesus.
Yeah.
I do think this is a great conversation, though, with
Sure.
these kinds of movies
Sure.
about why millennials are so, like, weirdly nostalgic for anthropomorphized animals and also wildly horny individuals. I feel like this is a consensus for most millennials.
But not like to actually go out and fuck another person.
No.
Like, aren't we the generation that's had, maybe it's the generation under us
under
too,
us,
but no one under them, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
But yeah, we all grew up on these weird, we weren't watching like actual live action things and having crushes on real adults. This is all just weird. We're fucking furries now.
Yeah, those characters weren't cool and sexy, but like all these animated characters had like a lot of like tongue-in-cheek humor. Like a lot of Don Bluth stories have that, but this one, they didn't even there was stuff that I had read too of like they really wanted to keep a G. It kept saying we wanted to keep the G rating, and it was like really this kept a G rating.
But could
like,
the pheasant's breast be a bit larger?
but can we ruffle it up a little more? But can we?
Dad's gotta have something to watch
Exactly.
too. You know?
Yeah.
100%.
I wonder if that was part of, like I would love a whole backstory on the Jessica Rabbit of it all for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's like, was there any talks of her being less sexy or more you know, whoa, what are we going on with this? But Chanticleer definitely I wasn't like my big crush because I think I was just, you know, there were other characters that I was crushing on at the time, but he is a mesmerizing character with a really great singing voice. Like that, I think Glenn Campbell does a great.
Oh my god,
Oh.
that blew my mind. I'm like, wait, like Wichita lineman, Galveston, like I'm forgetting the other big one, but I seriously enjoy all you Glenn Campbell heads get in the chat and
Let's talk.
know, a notoriously fickle fandom.
It's really incredible. Well, 10 minutes in here. What's Rock-A-Doodle?
Is that what we're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
I think that's what we're all asking ourselves.
What is Rock-A-Doodle? I think Don Bluth was also asking that. Damn, someone's gonna kill me in the chat.
I edit this, babe.
Oh, bad. Even
I don't. Good luck.
Almost went everywhere.
Rock-A-Doodle is a animated film that is actually based on two stories. Chanticleer, which is written by a French writer, Edmond Rostand, and then the Canterbury Tales. One of the Canterbury Tales has written by Geoffrey Chaucer. Are kind of like the stems from where the story comes from, but it's basically the story of this boy who lives on a farm, and his mom. The live action is that his mom is like reading him a story of this rooster who also lives on a farm, who helps the farm function because he's the reason the sun goes up. And one day, this owl who is voiced by Christopher Plummer.
Oh, another amazing gig.
And I was going to say another daddy singer, Edelweiss that.
Every morning you
yeah.
greet me. You know what I mean?
This owl that's voiced by Christopher Plummer hires opposing rooster to, in quite literal terms, get into a cockfight with Chanticleer. And while the cockfight is going on, the sun goes up without him. And all the farmland characters, like Munchkins, are so small-minded. They call Chanticleer like a phony and a fake. And I remember these lines from when I was a kid. And then Chanticleer gets ostracized. He leaves the farm. And because of that, now this is what is justifying the storms and flash flood that go on in both the real world and the animated story. And so a flash flood happens. And the little boy, Edmund, who is namesake from the author of the story, is calling out for Chanticleer. And then the animated world comes in and turns him into a cat, of all things. That's another story. And then the cat and all the farmland characters get together and they go off to the big city. Never has a name more than the city.
Sure.
And
Doesn't need to.
tries
We know
to
exactly where they are.
Exactly. We just know that it's the city, and they go to the city, pass a great place called Dairy King, not to be confused with Dairy Queen and Burger King, but that's, again, a fun time for a different time. And then they find Chanticleer, and he has gone under a new synonym, the King, which is apropos to another famous person that he's sort of emulating. And they try to get him back. Takes a few different hijinks to get him back to the farm, including...
They send a pheasant to...
Yeah, there is a pheasant that is, like, seduces him to, like, stay, but she realizes very quickly that she fucked up.
Oh, she did, like, a terrible job.
Yeah.
She's in love with him immediately.
She's like, yeah. Not
the girl catches feelings so fast.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed, this poor pheasant. But they bring that up for some reason in the narration. They're like, she's actually smarter than she looks. And I was like, that's offensive. But anyway, so the pheasant helps. We all try to get him. And then the owl, this really, really sad scene happens where, like, the owl chokes the child who is, like, the original believer. And even he's still in cat form, but then everyone else starts chanting him, and he has all this momentum. Very great, like, hero return story. Sun goes up, everyone's happy. The cat turns back into a child. It was all a fever dream, a la Wizard of Oz.
Or was it?
And then, and then this very awkward bringing back the live action and animation sequence comes at the end, but it doesn't matter because the music was so fucking good.
Yep.
End roll credits featuring the voice talents of XYZ. This is a great farm music Elvis homage film that I like had the VHS copy of. I was gonna say, I think Chris, you and I have talked about the VHS copies of this film, and I played this movie on repeat as a child. Like, just rewind, play all the time, and I would like. And I love the stupid ass songs. Like, it just makes me really, really happy. That's
Sun
the
Don't
story.
Shine is so goddamn catchy.
Sun Don't Shine is really Sun Do Shine is really great, and I also love Treasure Huntin' Fever. I don't know why. It's just a really, really, really catchy song. I just think it's also funny that Christopher Plummer does do all his own singing in the film as the owl.
Of course he does.
Like, I guess what would I think otherwise, you know? So,
Oh, Captain, my Captain. I missed this movie entirely.
as did most blessed humans.
We were not an anti-Don Bluth household.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Anastasia.
Ooh,
Huge.
Great one.
Huge. What is that, American Tail?
Amazing film.
We definitely watched. I'm pretty sure I watched the Thumbelina, though I do always confuse that one with Swan Princess. And who the fuck did that Swan Princess? Because I loved that shit.
love that
Oh
movie
yeah,
so much.
Swan Princess is great.
But not Don Bluth.
I quote that movie all the time, and no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
The
Do
Swan.
you
No
go,
one
"It's
knows
me, the
this."
Swan Princess.
I do that. Well, we tried, Odette. No one can say we didn't try. Or the you should write a book, How to Offend Women in 5 syllables or less. It's so good.
But I missed this one.
Yeah.
I think my mom may have known it would be too scary for me.
Maybe, because this one is a little spooky.
It's a little spooky.
It is a little spooky. So when I was watching at my friend Vivian's place the VHS copy because she has all these. I told her, I said, hey, I'm gonna be rewatching Rock-A-Doodle. Do you have a VHS? She was like, hold my beer, I got this. Like, she has VHS copies of everything. And as we're watching it, there is a trailer for Thumbelina on right before in the VHS. So it is a great callback. And then it reminds you that you're watching, that you're going to be watching Rock-A-Doodle, and as we have in movies of the 90s and stuff. And now for our feature presentation, that whole script like rolled in the beginning. I was like, yes. But yeah, so Thumbelina came on after. Sadly, when this movie came out, there were 2 amazing films that were also out around the same time, which was Beauty and the Beast.
Oops.
And the second best movie, Five Will Goes West. Like, I love Five Will Goes West sometimes more than American. It goes back and forth. I'm like, do I like Ghostbusters 2 more than Ghostbusters? I don't know. Like, these are things that I think about from time to time is like
You gotta
good
contemplate
sequels.
But yeah, to go up against like Oscar-nominated Beauty and the Beast was probably not in this movie's favor.
No. It doesn't have that. They were definitely trying to more jump on. I felt like the Roger Rabbit, like, let's mix live action with animated.
Yeah.
And I agree with most people that the live action part is probably like the worst part of the film. Like I don't like human Edmund.
The acting gets like significantly worse for a reason I can't put my finger on.
It's kind of how I also, for some reason, feel in another fever dream known as Return to Oz, and it always stays in live action. But I'm saying once they get to Oz, it like everything makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. But while they're still in Kansas, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like I don't, and even though some of the actors are the same actors, I'm like, no. This doesn't, like, this woman doing electroshock therapy makes no sense in the future.
Well, and it's so funny because you have, again, like, groundbreaking Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and you watch that, and it holds up so incredibly well. And then you have the kid green screened in the barnyard at the end of this movie, and it's like, oh, Roger Rabbit budget you did not have.
No, not quite.
No. But I love that they even have the, like, I feel like the bouncer's voice at the club at one point. It's like, that's just Roger Rabbit. That's just 100% Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Well, and it's funny, too, because the toads, those bouncers, are also in the book, are also in the Chanticleer story. So they did, like, that was how I felt also about the character names. Like, I remember when I first watched this, I was like, who the heck would name a rooster Chanticleer?
Well, to make it like an Elvis-esque figure.
Yeah.
And then be like, and his name? Chanticleer.
Those were all, that. Even having a kid named, Edmund, I was like, really? We didn't just call him Eddie? Those were all just like and Patu, these are all just tie-ins to the book. Like, it makes it a little more French, no? So, Chanticleer, like, even for roosters, like, if you break down the separation of that type of bird, like, you know, chant is like, you know, chanson, which is French for song or singing. So it all sort of like, it all ties in a weird way.
I love that you're like, right. And I'm like, huh?
Does it make sense?
Okay.
It is French.
I'm
I don't know
useless because I took French instead of Spanish in high school, living in Southern California like a ding-dong.
Amy, I took like 5 years of Spanish, and I'm such a dum-dum, where I'm just like, I can make the smallest of talk with you and talk about the weather. And find a library.
Oh.
Donné Assas la Bibliothèque.
Yeah, that's just classic.
I did 4 years in French in high school as well, and I do not use it often. I always say I can do it for reading. If I have to read something in French or listen to French songs, it works out really well. But the cool thing about living in Michigan and taking French is you get to go to, when I was in middle school, we went to Quebec twice.
Oh, cool.
So lots of poutine in my life.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know.
Man.
Poutine. Yeah, food. I can also talk about that in the future. I don't know how, there are things that I also love in animation, like obviously in like Studio Ghibli and stuff like that, where they show like different like food items and things like that. I never understood that was lasagna in this movie in Rock-A-Doodle.
Some slightly whacked out
I
lasagna.
thought it was cherry pie. I 100% believe that was like a cherry pie that they were signing their hands in blood in.
I find it offensive, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Don Bluth, 2 men, no food.
I don't do it. I don't like it. It hurt my soul a little bit. I went, oh, no, that food should be prettier.
We did just get a question from Josh Armacino, just asking, does Don Bluth belong on that Mount Rushmore of animated movie directors?
Oh, I think 100%.
Yeah.
I think 100%. I don't know if, like everyone else, there are films that aren't like the strongest. This is not the strongest Don Bluth film. There are so many Don Bluth films that are stronger than this. And I will also say the animated scene in Xanadu, which is also a Don Bluth project.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my deep cut because I love Electric Light Orchestra. And there's one scene, if you just watch it, if you look up Don't Walk Away, which is an ELO song, and you look that up with Xanadu, you'll see the Don Bluth animated sequence that's in there. And it's very Thumbelina-esque. It's like Thumbelina meets like a sequence from The Sorcerer's Stone. It was like, there's one part where they're fishies, and there's one part where they look like fairies. And it's like, but they're falling in love, so it's cool.
Interesting.
He's just he's very talented, and that's the same thing with like people like Miyazaki. There are most of Miyazaki's films that have a male protagonist. They're not for me. Like, but we joke, you know, my husband and I say this about like Pedro Almodovar and like Miyazaki is even like my least favorite Miyazaki film is better than like half the shit I see that year.
Sure.
And that's the same thing with, you can argue that with obviously Disney like everybody has shitty films. This sounds like an idealistic perspective, but like Steven Spielberg has tons of shitty like films as well. Like everybody has shitty films. It's going past your shittiness to make something good. Yeah. And keep going, you not knowing that not everything you do is going to be perfect, but as long as you have fun around the way, that's the real power of art. Yeah. And I do believe that it takes a lot to overcome hardships. And I think what I really liked about doing this film as a rewatch is I found it was very topical about things going on right now. So like the two things that I thought about right now that were going on when I rewatched this like 2 or 3 times in the last few days was I hate to say it, like the factor of there being a flash flood, and how strenuous that can be on people. Obviously with everything going on in Texas in the last couple of weeks, which is really devastating. But also the hero's journey of like, questioning what your purpose is. There is a $1 billion grossing film that came out last week that is one of the huge motifs of the film is like, I thought that my purpose was to do this. I'm being told that my purpose is something else. I have doubt now, and I'm questioning that doubt. And, this film wrapped it up really quickly. But it's like that, the whole thing is that he goes on this whole existential crisis, for lack of a better word. It's not, the Elvis perspective helps in the terms of like the music performance and certain ways that the character has to like, does certain things to be a little bit more commercialized and palpable. But like, he really is like a character that I think truthfully is like, a young character who goes on an existential crisis. And I would have loved to seen this movie more from the Chanticleer perspective than from fucking Edmund's perspective.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of Chanticleer.
I don't know. And Edmund wasn't like that, he was going through his own. I think Edmund's grapple was just being caught between being someone who wants to be helpful and actually being helpful.
Kind of felt like that. Oh, well, we got to put a kid in or kids can't relate.
Yeah. Yeah, it did feel like that a lot of times. And that damn Don Bluth casting of a child with a lisp, like
it gets me every time. I swear, like yes, speech impediment.
Yeah, those lispy kids. But there's a line that Sandy Duncan's character says, the mouse says, about how like the lisp makes me more intellectual or something like that. And I think I freaking love Sandy Duncan in this film. I'm a big Sandy Duncan stan. I used to watch that live action Pinocchio she was in. Where I don't even remember who else is in it. I just remember she's in it. And I remember Sandy Duncan was a guest star in a episode of Scooby-Doo. And I've been a stan of her ever since those encounters. So.
That is a very deep and specific fandom.
Scooby-Doo or Sandy Duncan?
Sandy Duncan.
Sandy Duncan.
Sandy Duncan, stand up, fam.
Sandy Duncan, hive.
Well, I wasn't a big Ellen Green, like people really like Ellen Green as the pheasant.
I love Ellen Green.
Yeah, people, that suddenly Seymour voice that she has. But she's cute. She's very funny, super airy, like so flighty and Pinky. Oh, the king. What have I done? Like that. That's really cute. But I don't know. I related a lot more to Peepers. I was that was my character. Sandy Duncan was my character. I was like, this is who I am. Like I'm the scrappy mouse who's gonna antagonize. I didn't like that she called Edmund handsome when he was in human form. I was very uncomfortable by that. But
well, what else are you supposed to say about a child who's probably dead? You can't just be like, oh well.
He was
make a new one.
Not that he was heroic or like helped save the farm. It was he was a really handsome boy. I was like, what? What? No. I don't know how I feel about this.
I can't believe I have to cancel this mouse. So what is sort of the Don Bluth lore? Because I feel like he is sort of this weird figure of... A lot of his shit gets misattributed to Disney.
And he worked for Disney.
He worked for Disney.
Yeah.
What's the fucking deal there?
I would say, you know, I remember, and I feel like Chris might know some about this too, but it was like in the 80s and 90s when he was separating, he was starting his own studio company, and there were hits and misses. Like, there were parts of the deals that he had with like MGM. This was unfortunately one of the misses. It became a box office fail and stuff like that. So it pulled back on some of his deals, and then sort of when, you know, but Fievel was still going well, but Fievel was also done with, I think, Amblin, Steven Spielberg's company. And so they were like, yes, everything is going. That's why also with with Fievel Goes West and stuff, I remember that distinctly being at Universal in Florida.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, I know Fievel had something, like the Spielberg connection makes sense because I remember.
It's the best immigrant story, period.
I remember. Screw all those real ones.
No, I think it's my favorite. I'm like,
yeah.
If I had a choice, if someone was like immigrant stories coming to America or like American Tail, I was like American Tail is like a great turn of the century immigration story of what was going on with like Eastern Europeans. And
if Mouse is too real for you, watch American Tail.
Like, I love Mouse. I also love Mouse.
It's so good, but it's so intense.
That's a Holocaust story.
Well, so is American Tail to an extent.
It's a story of
they're getting
Jewish
away.
People Russians coming to America as opposed to the Germans and stuff like that with Mouse.
We're just dealing with angry Russians in that version.
Yeah. With what's great about, oh gosh, I feel weird saying this about American. What's great about American Tail is it's really the whole like American dream vibe of like everyone, like you have the Irish immigrating and the Italians immigrating and the Russians immigrating. And
we all just want the streets to be paved with cheese. That's a shared dream.
Well, and this promise of there not being cats in America, which is a big lie. You know, this questioning of like what, you know, every place has hardships and every place is weird. So how do you make your home the best home and deal with the bullies you have? But there is no situation in American Tail and Fievel Goes West where it's like there's always an antagonist. Cats always will exist. You know, it's like it's trying to work around those situations, and also knowing that there are good cats out there. You know,
Dom DeLuise.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was what was it? Were you and I singing duo when we were going back from a cheese trip?
Yeah. It's a good one. So we've talked a lot about, though, how this was a miss. Why do you like this, though? Because we also have had people write in where it was just things like,
we got a lot of love this movie.
Yeah, just Big Might, right? No questions, awesome movie. Loud fan 123214, Rock-A-Doodle is my fave. We had a whole bunch of people who were just like, this is a great film. It's all vibes. So what do you like about it?
I feel like there's a lot of millennial love for this one.
This is a great, so this was one of my first forays into like the world of music that is sort of like rockabilly and inspired by Elvis and stuff. That and like Time Life classic commercials about Elvis. Like that's how I learned about Elvis, the Carpenters, Annie Lennox, were those Time Life classic commercials.
Just jolting awake on a couch at like 3 in the morning.
I
dozed off.
Yeah. I
gotta go put my PJs on.
And those Time Life classic commercials came on, and I was like, wow, this is parts of music that, and my parents always bring this up to me because when I worked in PR, one of our clients were Elvis Presley Enterprises in Graceland when I was working for the Beckwith Company. So I know a lot of particular tidbits, like fun facts about the movie that pertain to Elvis because I know a little bit of Elvis history from my time working with EPE. But
hit us with Elvis facts.
Well, I think the big obvious one is that the character Pinky, who plays the manager, is a lot like Colonel Tom Parker, and we just could say Tom Parker because I think I was working Elvis Week one year, like 10 years ago, where they would have Elvis Week is this week in Memphis at Graceland, where they commemorates the day of Elvis's passing, and they have a week long of like events, panels of people who have like worked with Elvis previously, either musicians or people who worked with him filming out here in California, or like, other people who were around him in his life in various aspects and things. And I remember we once had a panelist who was an actress who had worked on previous Elvis films, and she had said, oh, I don't say he wasn't a colonel. Like, that man did not do any freaking time in, like, like serving this country or whatever.
Not putting that respect on his name.
No respect on that guy. And that's the thing is, I think now more people are sort of aware of what a villain that character was because of the Elvis movie that came out a couple years ago. But it's like, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of control in Elvis Presley's life when he was like going up in the music industry, and then a lot of changes that were kind of made in his music path, and sort of you see that sort of with Chanticleer in the film. Like, it's this country Southern boy who kind of like goes into like a Sin City like Vegas limelight, and so like some of the outfits are even things like the hair dye. Chanticleer goes from being a redhead, which is what the rooster looks like, to a brunette because Elvis Presley also had to dye his hair brown, black, because he was a blonde.
That's just so wild to go that on the nose with so much of the Elvis stuff in a movie that's based on like an old French story. Like,
I think it had a lot to do with the music aspect.
For sure. No, it just has that little edge of someone like, and the music is one of the strong points of this.
Of
absolutely.
Course.
It just has that little edge of like, so we're gonna pull scrap of paper out of a hat, do the old Chanticleer story with Elvis music. Like, okay.
Yeah. They like, Glenn Campbell, I guess, had used to sing with Elvis, like had known Elvis and stuff. And the Jordan Nares, who does all the backup songs, they do all the backup vocals for the movie. They were also some of the backup vocalists for like Elvis Presley songs and stuff. So, there were definitely Elvis vibes without directly say, but they never actually say Elvis and stuff. They clearly say the king.
Which is funny because he's one of those icons where it's like, you don't have to.
It's
so clear.
It's definitely like putting someone in like a music icon status. And I think that was probably what Don Bluth and the team saw as like, it's easy to make this character, because, when that movie came out, it's like, who else was at that, It wasn't like if they were going more for like the Canterbury Tales, would they have made him like more Beatles-esque? It's like, no, like, but you also have to think like, who is a character in music that has that like country to like, popular route sort of escape, and that is Elvis. But Glenn Campbell, who I didn't know that much about beforehand, was a country he was a country singer. As well, and so most of his work is like more like country oriented, and Elvis had fun fact, Elvis all of his Grammys are actually for gospel records. People don't know. This is something they tell you when you go to Graceland, and a lot of other like little tidbits, but this I think at one point. It's funny because I think the owl refers to the music that Chanticleer does as rock and roll. But then when Chanticleer is like out in the city, he's like, oh, I haven't sang or I haven't crowed in a long time. I've just been singing the blues. So he sees all of his songs as like more of like a blues music. And then, which is, again, this is all like the different sort of genres I feel like that happened with Elvis. But what's kind of cool about Glenn Campbell that isn't something I associate with Elvis Presley is the yodeling is what really is the actual like crowing and stuff. And that's why I think Glenn Campbell was picked, was his yodel voice that he does, where he does the cockadoo, Like I can't do Jewel, but you get the
beautiful.
idea.
It was stunning. I was
you.
here for
Well,
it.
I was trying, but not hard enough. It's just a great, so that was my first foray in like being like into like Elvis songs and things like that, or that style of music, of like rock and roll. I also, there's other movies that I love, like that deal with rock and roll, that are fever dreams. Like there's a nursery, Mother Goose's Rock and Roll Nursery. That is another fever dream.
I remember that. It's terrifying.
My dad worked on that.
What?
On Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme.
Rock and Rhyme, yeah.
It's nuts.
What?
Yeah.
With Shelley Duvall,
Yep.
right?
Oh yeah.
I want to corner him so badly and discuss this.
What did he do?
Was he assistant directing on that, I believe?
What?
Or second AD?
What?
I'm pretty
amazing.
sure.
There's
If he's listening and I got that wrong, I'm sorry,
There's
Dad.
so many, like, you want to talk about rock and cool music. Like, there's so many musician cameos in that movie.
No, it
It's
was
all-
always funny of growing up, a lot of really cool names. Like, oh, I worked with them. Like, yeah, on Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme. Like, what?
Everyone.
It's so
Little
embarrassing.
Richie.
I was
Little
just going to say,
Richie.
Yeah.
I think about Little Richard from that before I think of anything else he's done, which is so, honestly, just like, but he has a huge catalog of music. Why
Yeah.
is that the first thing that comes to my brain?
Yeah.
That's so
really-
cool.
Did your father work on other fever dreams?
You'd have to. I mean, certainly yes.
You're like, yeah, they're
Me. He made one of the worst ones around.
They're like Cyndi Lauper is in the
Yeah. No, it's a bizarrely stacked cast.
I feel like it's really weird for me doing work in the industry and film festivals, because actually I don't really get excited seeing actors. It doesn't really faze me or anything. But when you talk about musicians, that's my hype note. That's my wow, musicians. Like people who can sing, that's so cool. Like I have their CDs and like that's God, I do love that fever, like, and and at the end of the movie, the boy wakes up and it's a fever dream. But I love fever dream movies so much.
Yeah.
Like they're my happy spot, and that is a happy spot. You are cool, Amy. You're like a celebrity now. I'm gonna like
Because of your dad.
Just 'cause
Fucking
of-
Nepo baby.
Nepo baby.
God.
Simon and Garfunkel, I think, are in that movie.
Yep.
Like it's like I love that stupid movie. Like I love
Hey, everyone.
so many.
I'm cool. You heard it here first.
Yeah. That's a Two Filthy Casuals promise.
And that's a Two Filthy Casuals promise. One thing this movie really reminded me of, and we did shout out to whoever dropped that comment, Cats Don't Dance.
Love Cats Don't Dance.
Big Cats Don't Dance energy in this. And I think it's just the entertainment industry stuff reminds me a lot of it.
Yeah.
God damn, I'll do a Cats Don't Dance episode. I think that movie,
would love.
that movie is the reason I wanted to be an entertainer.
Really?
Yeah.
I have the
wow.
soundtrack
I wanted
on
to be
CD.
Sawyer.
Oh,
We were just
So
talking about
bad.
this,
Yeah,
about how
Natalie
she
Cole.
just is incredible in that film.
Yep.
Well, and this and Cats Don't Dance are such good commentaries just on how entertainment works or doesn't.
Yeah.
And how incredibly flawed and problematic the entire system can be in such a palpable way.
Well, they're also like kind of fun. Cats Don't Dance is a really great allegory too, with the animals and stuff like that.
No, it handles that in a
Yeah.
really smart way.
it was Zootopia before there was Zootopia.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. And that's why Zootopia is one of my favorite Disney movies, too.
Danny?
Danny is really
Also
hot.
kinda-
Yeah. Yeah. That, no
Little
notes.
Bacula.
I'd totally bone Danny. Yeah.
You heard it for your first, folks.
That's,
And that's also a Two Filthy Casuals promise.
I love, I hate to say it, Big and Loud is like one, I would
Darla Dimple's such an amazing
freaking
villain.
sing that
Well,
all the time.
Phenomenal
Yeah.
film.
If people do love this movie,
Yeah.
what else should they go check out? Or if they're like, oh my gosh, this sounds great, I can't wait to watch a whole bunch of like Don Bluth or other non-Disney films or other Elvis adjacent films, what would you recommend, Mish?
I do really like Cats Don't Dance.
Yes.
The American Tail films. I like Anastasia a lot.
Anastasia's a banger.
I do like Thumbelina. A lot of people I think I also this is a Disney one, but it's still a Disney one that I think I don't know why, but it's because it's an animal one. It's an older one that came out around that time that I kind of like put in that wheelhouse is Oliver and Company.
Oh, sure.
yeah.
Logan's never seen it.
Oh, really? Does he
Yeah.
also not like Billy Joel? Like, what is
Oh,
that?
the Billy
like,
Joel dog. A little
Yeah.
bit. Less anthropomorphic, though. So,
Yeah.
but like in a kid crush way. Yeah, sure.
He's
cool
on the same
dog.
level, the same level as Tramp and Lady and the Tramp.
Yes,
like,
where it's like
Yeah.
as a kid, yes.
Yeah.
As an adult, not anthropomorphic.
No.
you need
that's
to-
the dog I want to go adopt and give a really nice life to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were gonna do like
Oh, no.
a marry, fuck, kill, where it's like, oh, I wouldn't marry him, but I'd have
The Billy Joel dog? Yeah, no, he's.
I'd have like one. I have like
No.
one turn, and it would be syphilis or something.
Also reminded, just in that like strange fever dream that I have a lot of nostalgia for. We're back.
We're back at Dinosaur Adventure.
Yeah.
Full title. Great.
I'm so
film.
sorry. I'll put some. He
sorry.
does not get a kernel, but we're
Oh,
back. Just
we're back at Dinosaur Adventure. God, what was the one I was thinking of yesterday? Fuck, we're back at Dinosaur.
Didn't Don Bluth do a troll in Central Park?
A Troll in
as well?
Central Park. There was I think we said Swan Princess.
yes,
was a
which
great-
not Don Bluth,
not Don
but
Bluth.
very Don Bluth energy.
But there was one I literally was just thinking of yesterday. Oh, not Don Bluth. Ferngully, The Last Rainforest.
Sure. I always
Love that
confuse
film.
Quest for Camelot, if that's Don Bluth or not.
Oh.
Am
I
the
think
only one
that
who-
might be same people as Swan Princess.
You know what? That must have been
They
it.
kind of, I was going to say their poster art was
Yeah,
similar
same
to
guy.
me.
And I guess the Baz Luhrmann Elvis movie. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think there's some older Elvis. This is weird. Another thing that makes me think of Elvis in that era, and it's not an Elvis movie, but they use an Elvis song in the movie, is another underrated sequel, Look Who's Talking To. There is a great scene. You can just Google search this scene or YouTube this scene where John Travolta is dancing at a nursery to All Shook Up. And it is so cute. And it's very cute and color aesthetic that is very similar to Muppets Take Manhattan when they do the Muppet Baby sequence with I'm Gonna Always Love You. Those two scenes are like adorable to me and are also like very like part of my childhood. And I think it's just like what was going on in that era of movies that I like really recommend. Yeah. So people would also say, I guess, yeah, like the animated Lilo and Stitch, both animated and the live action Lilo and Stitch worked with like Graceland and Elvis Presley's estate to obviously like licensing rights for those songs and those depictions and things like that. But I think I've seen both of them and I feel like the live action one didn't really have as much of an Elvis vibe as like you could tell in the animated one she was really like obsessed with him and like Blue Hawaii and stuff like that. And I think those are great. Any Anne Margaret films Anne Margaret's always like a hard recommendation because it's like, yeah, you should see Anne Margaret films, but also it's like there were things they flirted a lot.
Man, I love me some Viva Las Vegas though.
Viva Las Vegas is great.
That movie's just a bit of a weird mess, but it's so fucking fun, and they are so fucking hot and just so watchable.
100%.
It's like just like two of the best looking people ever, just being sexy and fun together in mid-century Las Vegas. Like yes,
it's very fun.
Bombastic Bye Bye Birdie dance at the end
when
of the
she
movie.
just like
and it's her just like throwing
every
arms.
time she's just throwing her head and arms around.
Love it.
Sold.
So
you go,
good.
girl.
I've always wanted to do Anne Margaret for Halloween one year as like Anne Margaret throws something in the trash.
Yeah. That bit is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say All Dogs Go to Heaven too, because
All
Don
Dogs Go
Bluth
to
and
Heaven.
also
Yes.
same writer, Dan Weiss, who did like this and like some of the Shrek movies and stuff like that. So if you like a story,
There you go.
Oh yeah, Land Before Time. Sadly,
the Don Bluth movies, I feel like we're just like more willing to be sad.
yes.
Yeah.
Where it was like, no, we're gonna kill a parent or loved one on screen and have them say goodbye to them in this moment.
Yeah, they could get away with some shit.
Yeah.
100%.
Those
What is it,
Disney
Pebble-
bigwigs weren't looking.
They were just like, just say she has a dead mom. It's fine. No one cares.
Oh gosh, that movie. Wow, so sad. I don't know. When I think about Anastasia, I do go through like I'll like go through different like research other Anastasia movies or go through that lore of other people. You know.
Oh, I don't want the actual story
Yeah, I was
where they
gonna
like
say.
never find. I want.
It's so sad.
I want her to go to Paris and kiss
Yeah.
a floppy-haired boy.
Do y'all okay? This is a thing that we did in Texas schools where we did the wax museum where you were a historical figure and someone would like have you, they'd press a button and you'd come to life and do a little
my God.
story about
Oh my
who you
God.
were. Okay, this is very exclusive to where I grew up in Texas. I wanted to be Anastasia and my mom was like,
Oh, you
let's
have to
look at
into
the real story
yeah.
then. And I was like, oh no. And all these other kids did it. And my mom was just like, you dumb little kids having to read about the Romanovs being murdered.
Yikes.
Or a whole bunch of Judy Garlands on my floor too.
Oh,
And my mom was
dear.
like,
Oh,
nope, we're not
dear.
doing that either. Did Audrey Hepburn. Where she was like, this one's safe.
Yeah.
Do
That's
that.
good.
I was like 10.
I'll say this though too. I do think with Anastasia, Rasputin and Bartok are very similar to the Duke and his nephew Hut.
Oh, sure.
I love him.
Yeah, Uncle Dewey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he calls him Uncle Dookie.
Uncle
Yeah,
Dookie.
Uncle Dewey.
And I-
And he's
edit
trying-
that out, babe.
I'm sorry, I just watched it, and every time I was like, what?
Uncle Dookie. My dad still quotes "adequate pipe."
Oh,
It's like his favorite line from this movie. You idiot! It was an aqueduct. He loves adequate pipe. That little guy is so funny to him.
Adequate pipe is,
Yeah.
I literally, when I was
All
a
I'm
kid, I
asking
didn't get it. I didn't understand that joke until I rewatched it as an adult. Like there were a lot of things like I said, I thought the character's name was Tattoo. I was like, this is Tattoo. This is the other mistake I had also in this project was not shot in Canada. This was shot in Ireland and California. But when I was growing up, I'm a big fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And so that was shot in Canada. And the way that characters would pronounce things, I was like, oh, the character has a speech impediment. They did not. That was
Something's
just
wrong with them.
well, one of my going back
They're
to like
Canadian.
Beauty, going back to Beauty and the Beast. There's a episode that I loved of Are You Afraid of the Dark? I think it's called like The Dark Dragon or something like that. This guy, he was in a car crash, so he has like a lower, something's up with his leg, but he wants to date the hot girl in school. But he clearly the nerdy girl like loves him, and I don't. But the nerdy girl's name was, I think her name is Mariah, but he would call her Mariah, and I was like, oh, he has a speech impediment. Like he keeps saying like sorry or something. Like it was just like a weird, how the Canadians talk.
They all needed to go to their hoose.
They had to go to their hoose because that was just what they were about, and it was just really, I don't know. But I realized when I got older, I was like, they don't have speech impediments. They're just Canadians, and these names are just different sounding because they're Canadian. Mishu being offensive, it's what I'm good at.
Well, gosh, please don't be on this podcast where we really have people clutch their pearls because we never say anything inappropriate. Is there anything else you want to add about the movie, Mish?
Great question. I think we talked about Phil. I think we talked about Phil Harris. It's really sad that this is like one of his last roles or his last role. Really, like, I think my biggest stressor was like the things that I loved about it, which is like it's a really great. Except I hate to say it, like except for the boy who plays Edmund, it's a really great like voiceover cast. It's like everyone in here. Even if the movie didn't do great, like they all gave 100. They all knew what they were doing, and that was what was really beautiful. I love the colors in this film, all the pink and bright colors, all the little details to things in the animation are really fun.
I feel like it has so much charm of just like, is it a bit of a mess? Yes, but it's a mess that was made with love.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like it's messy because people got too excited. And I'm sure there was some
Oh,
studio
100%.
meddling or whatever, but it doesn't have that present day, like, oh, this sucks because all the things just got, like, shut down by the executives and you got, noted to hell. It feels like it's a little messy because people are like, and then he'll be Elvis, and then he'll be, and it's like, does it all work? I don't know. Does it matter? No. Because we were all just watching that VHS and having a blast. Not me. I would have been scared of it. But now, good times.
I love that. One random thing I always thought about when I was rewatching it is that the guy who plays the bird, the voiceover actor for that, I don't know him in any other project, but as Eugene from Grease. He like the I don't know if you guys remember, but like Eugene in Grease is just I
remember every detail from that movie. Please continue.
The nerdy guy who like gets poked on by everyone. And I don't know, Amy, if you had this growing up or not, but I remember when it was like the 25th anniversary of Grease and like VH1 and MTV, like everyone was making VH1 specifically was making a big deal about it. So I think they had a behind the music of Grease or an E! True Hollywood story about Grease. And like that actor who played the Eugene character, I believe his name is Eddie, but he was, I guess, a virgin during the time of shooting of Grease. And the actor who played Kenickie, Jeff Conaway, kept saying that he was going to get a prostitute for him in the trailers. And he was so nervous the whole time. And I hear that voice when I hear lasagna, like all that stuff that he does in Rock-A-Doodle. And it's so kind of fun. It's kind of funny, like hearing it and stuff, because that's the only other project that I associate with that actor.
He's also the voice of Mandark on Dexter's Lab, and I think he's one of the annoying kids on Polar Express.
I've never seen Polar Express.
You don't need to.
But I have seen Dexter's Lab, and that does sound exactly like that voice.
Yeah.
So he should
have talked about getting a prostitute.
That's what they should have put in there. The lasagna was the prostitute's name, actually.
Don't put a prostitute in my trailer, please. Whoa, why is that line in here?
Without this film, I don't know if Don Bluth would have really tried more forays in live action. That's a fun thing to know. So like they had a couple other directors, you'll see it in the credits too, that worked on the project. And one director in particular was hired to just do the live action part. And he got sick like 4 days into shooting, ends up dying of cancer like 3 months later. But then they have to bring in Don Bluth to shoot it. He was very reluctant to shoot the live action. He was like scared. Like they use a real cow. That cow that you see for like half a second on screen is a real cow, and it was like pregnant while they were shooting the flash flood scene. He was like terrified about shooting the tree branch that like falls into because they did things safely, but it was still all practical. So it scared the fuck out of him. And I believe he's quoted as saying like, yeah, I prefer to do animation. It's like much easier. And like, I guess he like lived on, in a farm and stuff like that. So like all of this made him really like, this flash flood thing made him really uncomfortable shooting and stuff. So I feel bad because I almost want to be like, well, it's not the most fun part of the film, but if he didn't do it, then probably he would have tried to do live action later on, and we would have had a full horrifying. I'm sure there are other full horrifying live action movies, but that's just a fun fact. But at the end of the day, this film to me is about cockfights, fever dreams, and annihilation.
Let's go, baby.
Yes, and that is the mantra I'm going to try to live my life by too.
Cockfights, fever dreams, annihilation.
Happy Friday. Yeah. Wishing you and yours all that and some adequate pipe.
Yeah. Mish, where can people keep up with you?
Oh, gosh. I don't like people knowing where I live. Just kidding.
I don't want them to know where you live. I don't want you to dox yourself.
I would say I am on X, formerly known as Twitter, as MujuS, but I don't post as regularly. And I sometimes just post random things that I'm angry about on Instagram, which is Raincheck on Reality.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for being here. And if you want to follow us, we are on Instagram and TikTok at Two Filthy Casuals Pod. If you've heard a dog crying in the background, we're not hurting him. He's just a DreamWorks man. He doesn't like Don Bluth. He said Shrek or bust, baby. We said, no, we're not talking about that today. And it's just been a whole fucking ordeal.
Gimli's at the point where he keeps just putting his hand higher up on my leg. Like, hey, I'm here.
I do the same thing.
It's true.
When I want to speak on the podcast. Just keep
When
scooting
you're
that
like, it's my dinner time. What are we doing?
Yes. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Two Filthy Casuals Pod. If you are listening and you want video, go find us on YouTube. There's always audio of this episode wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want more filthy content, go find us at patreon.com/twofilthycasualspod, where you can become a filthiest casual and get some bonus episodes. Otherwise, wherever you're listening or watching, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you could, like, subscribe, thumbs up, 5-star, whatever your thing is.
Leave us comments talking about how you don't like when we're horny, or that you do.
We're not going to change.
Yeah.
We're not going to change. And until next time, thank you for being here. And I'm Amy Newman.
I'm Chris Carr.
And remember, if you followed this fandom, you'd be home by now.
Bye.